Going live. We are now live. I hope that nobody is stuck in traffic right now trying to get to CNY Fertility in Syracuse because we are completely landlocked, traffic jammed here because President Biden is going up the road to give a talk, so nobody can come or go from Intrepid Lane. So if you're stuck out there, we are sorry. None of us, I don't think, actually realized where he was going today. So we are a little bit out of the loop. So hang in there. It is a perfect time to practice patience and to work on changing your mindset from frustration to there's a lot of things in life you're just out of control of. So you may as well be in the now, focus on your breath, try to affect the people around you in a positive way. I think it's the most important thing that we can do is use our mind to make the world a better place. Why not? You have to ask yourself, is that something that you want to do? And if so, how are you going to do that? Do you feel you have the power to make the world a better place? And it starts with making yourself a better place to be in, right? So today I want to talk a little bit about inflammation. People have been asking me about what can they do to bring inflammation down in their bodies. And so there's lots of things that you can do. First of all, please know that this is something that everybody has. Okay. It used to be like, oh, she's having a lot of inflammation because of the diet, her nutrition, or she's eating high inflammatory foods. That is absolutely not the case anymore. The reality is everybody has inflammation. So the first thing to do is to simply recognize that fact. Okay. You're in an inflamed situation. Okay. Let's realize that it is something that we are battling. It's something that we're making friends with. However you want to view it, you have to recognize it. The second part is that there is a cause to it, right? There's something that's driving the inflammatory response in your body, right? I believe in causation. I don't believe in idiopathic. Once in a while, there is an idiopathic diagnosis, but primarily what we do as common sense healthcare practitioners is do a deeper dive into causation. And then looking at some possible causes. What is driving this inflammatory response in your body? Is it mold fungus? Is it heavy metals? Is it viral? Is it bacterial? Is it gut dysbiosis? Is it because of your diet? Is it because of the stress you're under? Could it be all of those things? The answer is yes. So really do a self care inventory and try to take a look and see what's going on in your life that could be causing this inflammation. Most of it is systemic, and that starts and ends in your gut, your digestion. So you want to improve how you are eating, what you're eating, and how well you're digesting it, right? I always tell the story of somebody who has the perfect diet. Everything's organic, it's grass-fed, it's wonderful. But when they're eating, they're very stressed. And so that's not good. So as opposed to think about somebody who's eating not that great, but when they're eating, they're very aware, they're chewing their food well, they're getting their digestive juices in the form of saliva going in their mouth. So we have enzymes in our mouth and our saliva, which is why we need to chew our food well, so that by the time it gets to the stomach, it's pre-digested. So that's creating less of an inflammatory response in the body. So it's not just what you're eating, but when and how often. So a lot of people, we've been talking a lot about intermittent fasting, and absolutely it's beneficial. Give the body a break from the work of digestion. That's the simplest thing you can do to bring the inflammatory response down right away. And then you'll have more time to do more creative pursuits, whatever that's going to be, instead of thinking about the next meal you're going to make. It just gets easier. So what else can you do? Well, sleep well, right? So we need to regulate our nervous system so that you're able to sleep. Remember, there's all different from a common sense point of view or Chinese medicine health point of view. There are a lot of different causes of insomnia. So it can be adrenaline, it could be related to your liver, it could be related to your gallbladder, that's waking you up in the middle of the night. So we need to sort of look at what is causing if you do have insomnia, so that we can fine tune the way to bring your body back to balance. So sleeping, try to get 8 to 10 hours a night. 10 is probably a lot, depending on how old you are. Let's say 7 to 8 would be ideal if you can have uninterrupted sleep. Sounds like there's a party here and I wasn't invited. The other thing that's really important, what I'm noticing is, our toxic load is more than it used to be. It's weird because I feel we have a lot more information available to us on the internet and whatever you're reading about toxins and what's happening to our endocrine system, in particular from a toxic overload, the toxic burden, and endocrine disruptors. And yet, when I walked down the grocery store aisle yesterday here in Syracuse in Tops Friendly Market, half of one of the aisles is now dedicated to air fresheners with toxic scents, which are known cancer-causing agents. I mean, I couldn't even walk down the aisle without getting a headache. I was very sad to see that. Please be careful with what you're using. The air should not smell bad. If you want to burn a little bit of incense or do some aromatherapy or something, that's fine. But the air you should not need to have some kind of scent in your car that you're constantly smelling what we now are known neurotoxins. It's affecting your brain. This stuff gets into your brain, which is primarily fat, and stays in there. So, please take a look at everything you're exposed to, especially if you're getting regular headaches. It's a big part of what causes headaches are toxins. So I think I already said this the last time, but I'll just say it again briefly. There was a article in the newspaper, on Tuesday I read it, about a recall that was done on dry shampoo, many brands, because of the known cancer-causing agent in their benzene. And so, wow, they're still making products that are killing us, essentially. So please inform yourself, okay? This is definitely one of the primary drivers of the inflammatory response in your body, right? So sleeping well, sweating. How are you going to sweat? Go in the sauna. You can jump on a trampoline. I've been using a vibration plate, one of my new favorite toys. It's a lot of fun. It gets your lymphatics moving. But if you're going to move your lymph a lot, you also want to be able to bind those toxins out. So if you do have a high level of toxins in your body and then you start, priming yourself for detox, you want to make sure you have some kind of binder. Sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to be talking about binders and how we can just escort them right out of the body. We have to. So sweating is really important. I love a near infrared sauna.
I got an update.
We have an update.
The roads will close again around 4:45.
Okay. The road is going to close here in Syracuse around 4:45. It seems to be open now, though, right? It's open now, and it's going to close around 4:45. If you're trying to get to CNY Fertility here in Syracuse, that's what's happening. Good to know. Thank you. So sleeping, sweating, lots of ways to sweat. The near infrared sauna is heating up your body from the inside out. So now we are pushing toxins out. Make sure you wipe them off with a towel, drink a ton of water. That's the number one way to start eliminating heavy metals. I would say, and other toxins. I absolutely love sweating. And then increasing your circulation. If you just do that, that is the mechanism behind how light therapy decreases pain and inflammation, is by increasing circulation through the release of nitric oxide is one of the mechanisms. Depending on how you're using phototherapy, there's different devices, but that's the primary one. There's other kinds of microcurrent devices out there. The Beamer is another one. I love that. If you have the chance to do that, that is going to help bring down inflammation because it's increasing blood flow, right? We want to keep things moving well. It's very simple. Remember, health is simple. Disease is complicated. Health is simple. So we want to focus on what is simple for the body. What can you simply do every single day to prevent disease? Once you've been diagnosed with something, then we're talking more complex. And now we have to intervene in a more complex way. So lifestyle practices, absolutely the best thing you can do to prevent things from forming. No matter what you've been diagnosed with, you are not your diagnosis. This is not a life sentence, okay? You don't want to over-identify with anything that you've been diagnosed with. These are temporary wake-up calls, okay? Hopefully, telling you, hey, you haven't been paying attention to the subtler layers of what you're feeling, how you're thinking, how well you're digesting. Are you eliminating? How well are you sleeping? Are you hydrated? The basics in life. And so then if we ignore all that, then we get the bigger knock at the door. And then we say, oh my gosh, now I've got something I really have to address. And so I've been through it. I know most of you have been through it too. So we got to stick together, help each other to overcome whatever it is that we're trying to overcome. And okay, folks, have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. It is not hard to care about yourself and care about each other. Okay, so try to use your time whenever you're encountering others in the waiting room, on the highway. Send them peace and love. Okay, send out that feeling of love, and that is how we make the world a little bit better. I'm going to try to put my, I'm going to do this first on Facebook. Oops, I better not. Oh, I got to do this here. Oh, well, I guess I'll just, you can find me, jenniferwaters.net. I'm easy to find. I'll post this on here, though, jenniferwaters.net. Okay, take care.